Friday afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another video. And got a good one for you guys today. So I'm going to round out my John Wick series review with John Wick Chapter 4. And without going into too much details, this movie is my Top Gun Maverick of this year. Because if you guys know, Top Gun Maverick was my favorite movie of last year. And this one is very high on my list for absolute favorite of the year, but possible favorite action movie ever made, period. So let's get into this bombastic movie. So this picks up after the events of Chapter 3, Parabellum, and Parabellum ends when Ian McShane shoots John Wick out of being caught helping John Wick. So Ian McShane double crosses him temporarily, but he reunites with Lawrence Fishburne, and now John Wick is with Lawrence Fishburne recovering. And this opening scene is very simple and very, very poignant, because it just shows a cross-cut to Lawrence Fishburne and a fist just punching a post repeatedly. And obviously you know that's John Wick. So throughout this whole movie, it's a very staggering runtime at 2 hours and 49 minutes. There wasn't a single dull moment in this movie whatsoever. So you're introduced to the Marquis de Gramo, played by Bill Skarsgård, and he's just this leader of French assassins, and he's known to be like one of the best fighters that can match John Wick. So this whole movie pits the Marquis de Gramo and his many, many, many adversaries against John Wick. And this leads into like a Western standoff duel, and whoever beats the person wins their freedom. So that's this entire movie, and it's clear motivation, but you are in for a nearly 3-hour flawless action sequence. And where to get started on some of these action sequences, there is the Osaka Continental siege, and that's a solid 20-25 minutes of the same sequence. I mean, John just like literally mows down every single person creatively. And not to mention his use of nunchucks in this movie. that was definitely one of my favorite parts in his arsenal. So you get like nunchucks, you get guns, you get knives, you get cars, you get axes, just anything that mows down all of these people. And not to mention, the standout secondary villains are Donnie Yen, which is Kane, and he's just a blind man just trying to get out of this life and free his daughter. So he's literally after John Wick this entire movie, but he actually gets into the duel at the end with him. And I'm not going to give away the ending, of course, but that literally all comes together as you watch this movie. And not to mention Mr. Nobody, which is kind of like, I guess you can call him like an accomplice, but he's also a villain to John Wick. And he's just on the trail to help take out all of these assassins and John Wick at the same time, waiting for his bounty. I definitely love all of these villains, but Bill Skarsgård is the definite standout. And I have to mention the final stairs sequence. That was insane. I mean, he had to like literally conquer like over 220 steps or something just to get to the top. And he just kept mowing down these assassins. I mean, every action sequence is superb in this movie, and it is a flawless movie, but with one minor thing that kind of sets it back, but I would still give this a very high grade. It's just the relentless brutalization that he's getting put through. There we go. Where he just gets stabbed, beaten, and shot at multiple times, and he just like literally hurls himself out of a window at one time, just hits the concrete and gets up, and that was nothing. That's a little over exaggerated, but you just don't care. He's your main hero and you want him to survive. And I've always been kind of mixed on Keanu Reeves as an actor. I mean, there's been some movies where he's fine, but these are the movies that literally make him an action star. Sorry, Matrix fans, but yeah. So there is also a very important character death at the very beginning of this. And as we know, Lance Reddick did pass away earlier this year. And after seeing that moment, I knew it was going to be him because he died. So I think that was a way to have the filmmakers send off that character. But everybody in this movie just kicks ass, and I love this movie. So overall, John Wick Chapter 4 absolutely deserves an A+, with those minor details, of course. But this is definitely setting up to be one of my favorite action movies of all time. So those are my thoughts on John Wick Chapter 4. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And right after this, I'm going to go ahead and rank all 4 John Wick movies. So I'll see you guys in a minute. And yeah. That's all I got to say for this video. I'll see you guys in a second. Later. Adios.